Okay, so this is going to be the tutorial on overlapping your letters for your typography design. Okay, now what happens when you overlap letters? Okay, so what usually typically happens is each letter that you make, okay, it's gonna end up overlapping the previous letter you made. So if I wanted to copy paste this W again. So I Command C and Command V to paste, and if I change that color and I resize it, now it's going to be the closest letter to you. Okay. Now let's just say I wanted the W to go in the back of the picture. Okay, so if I wanted to put this W in the back of the picture, the way I would do that is you're going to need to right click with the your mouse, or you can do also hold control and click on the mouse, and it's going to give you a couple options to choose. And you want to oh wait, hold on, look at this command. Okay, yeah, you want to command click it. That's correct. No, it's control click. Okay, so when you control click on the letter, you're going to have these options to choose, and you want to click on arrange, and this gives you some of the options to move your letters around. So if you click on send back, okay, that's going to send your letter all the way in the back of your picture. Okay, now since I sent it back, I can't really click on it now because the letter D is in the way. So if you want to send it back, so I did Command Z to undo. And let's just say I want to bring this W in the front. Okay, to bring that W in the front, I command click and bring the front, and that's gonna bring that letter to the front. Okay, so that's one way you can move your letters around. You can also move it back one space. So if you wanted to send it backward one space. Well, I usually don't mess around with the send back and bring forward. Sometimes those things don't work, but if you can send it all the way back, you can send it all the way back that way, or bring it forward, you can bring it forward that way. Yeah, that's typically how you would move your letters around. But I found this the easiest way to organize your letters. So let's just say this is the main design I wanted to use for. I'm just doing all the stuff that I did before. But let's just say I want to keep this design, and let's just say all the stuff that I have here, this is where I want to keep the middle of my page. So I'm going to go to my layers window, and going to go to Windows, Layers, and this window should pop up. You can title this your middle ground, and we're going to separate your design into 3 different grounds. One's going to be your middle ground, and one's going to be your foreground, which is the objects that are closest to you. And then when you do your foreground, make sure your foreground's on the very top, and then click on the bottom and add a new layer, or create a new layer. Or if it's up in the middle, you gotta click and drag it on the bottom, and you want to put your background on the bottom. Okay, so you want to separate your letters by grounds. I feel like that's the easiest way to do your overlapping. So, okay, so I'm pretty much happy with that one. I'm in the middle ground. Let's just say I want to add a D to my background. So you click on your background layer, and let's just say we want to do another real big letter. We can do K. So we got the letter K here, and now since it's in the background, okay, it's going to be behind all of the letters that we have. And again, remember you're supposed to have values in your design. So I'm just going to try to keep this like either the red, gray, or I can even do like a grayish red. That's fine too. And I'm going to do like a real big letter in the back. Oh, again, remember with your letters, you gotta hold shift and drag it. Alright, so maybe I want to add a K somewhere. And again, it's a little too pink. Like this part here is blending in with that part, so I might tone this down a little bit. Like gray it out. Oops, let me gray out. Click on it again. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I might actually rotate this around. So remember to use the hand tool to move the page. And maybe I may move it a little bit this way. Okay, and that kind of gives you like some options to play around. And then so that's gonna add letters to your background. And then if you're happy with your letters in the background, then you can remember to lock your layers. Okay, now if I try to let's just say I lock both layers. If I want to get to this K again, it might be a little harder. It might be a little hard to get some of your letters if you don't lock it. So make sure you just lock the layers you're not using and unlock the ones that you are. Then your foreground. Okay, maybe I might want to add this text more. So see, I can't click on the text to copy. So oh yeah, one other thing too, when you're working on your typography design, see, I'm having a hard time clicking that quote here. So if this doesn't ever happen, just make sure to click on all of them. Like, you see what I'm doing, just selecting it all, and just click and drag to make a box, and it selects all those parts there. And just hold shift and click on the D's, and now deselect it, or should deselect it. Alright, I have a hard time figuring that out. Okay, deselect, deselect. Yeah, see, I'm having a hard time clicking this D in the back. So you might need to just move these letters around. Yeah, if you have a hard time clicking on some of these letters, you might need to. They're all grouped together. Yeah, you might need to move some of these letters around so you can click on it. So I just moved those two around, just Command C to copy, and then I'm just going to undo those movements I made. Now I can copy that again. So, oh yeah, one other thing too before I let me. Alright, that's going to be another thing you might run into as well. Don't try to make too many letters on your design. Now, sometimes it looks nice to have all those details with the letters, but sometimes it's hard to, fix and move things around. So you want to try to keep your design simple, but, try to keep it complex. But what I'm doing right now is these two quotes that I have. I'm just changing those fonts into the Georgia that I was using. So, I want you to be consistent with the font that you're using. Always use the same font for everything. Because, if you don't use the same font, it's gonna look a little weird. So, okay, so if I want to add some more of these fonts in the front, I'm just gonna put on my foreground layer. And I'm just going to put them in the front. Maybe I might want to make this into a diagonal here to go with that K. Okay, that's another thing you're going to be great on too, is your use of lines. Okay, so you want to use lines throughout your design. And oh yeah, you also don't want to overlap your letters too much. You might need to move them around. This is another thing too. You want to be able to read the text. You don't want to have too much clutter in it. Okay, so that's gonna be the challenge of this assignment. You want to make your design look complex, but you also want to add detail to it. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much a tutorial on the how to use the fonts in Illustrator.